Hey everyone, welcome to group break number 310. Today we have a 2021-22 Upper Deck Young Guns hunt. 4 boxes each of the Series 1, Series 2, and Extended Hobby. Last time we did this, it was pretty solid. I think we ended up with like 5 French Young Guns, 2 clear cuts. Just really fun break. Extended actually showed really well, so hopefully we can keep it up though. So 3 times on the names, 3 times on the teams. Who you line up with is who you get. I just got to double check one of the names quickly. Just want to make sure that I have the right name in there. Sorry, I forgot to triple check that right before. Give me 2 seconds here. 2 seconds. And 310. Yeah, hopefully everyone had a good long weekend. Again, breaks for this week will be going up soonish, probably tomorrow. So we'll have some clear cut. We'll have some I don't know how we're gonna do it exactly. I still want to watch a couple more breaks and just make sure that I'm doing a good format. Okay, we're good to go. But yeah, breaks for this week should be fun. Different mix. So yeah, here we go. 3 times on the names, 3 times on the teams. Who you line up with is who you get. Good luck. Let's have some fun. And let's get some cool cards. Here we go. Once, twice, third time. And obviously there's the third random of the names. We'll do that one after this. Whoever is on top of the third random for names will get Seattle, who is the free team. So here we go. There are the names. Here are the teams. And then we'll do names again for Seattle. Once, twice, third time. Carolina on top. That is who you want to have in the extended portion of this break. There's a variety of pretty good teams here. And we'll do names again 3 more times. And on top we'll get Seattle. Here we go. But yeah, Carolina's been really good in extended. Once, twice. And Seattle belongs to Patrick. Patrick, you get the Seattle Kraken. But yeah, Carolina's been pretty solid and extended for us. What was the other team? Anaheim normally shows up somewhat. New Jersey as well. New Jersey's actually like got 5 Young Guns or something. They always get cards. So here we go. Quentin, you have the Carolina Hurricanes. Graham with the Blue Jackets. Bill with the Devils. Emil with the Stars. Jacob with the Flyers. Andrew with the Penguins. Scott with the Jets. Robert with the Capitals. Cedric with the Predators. Joseph with the Blues, Dan with the Lightning, Pierre Benoit with the Bruins, Fotis with the Coyotes, Marshall with Chicago, Dennis with the Montreal Canadiens, David with the Thunders, Damien with the Calgary Flames, Dennis with the LA Kings, Marie-Eve with the Sabres, Dan with the Sharks, Patrick with the Islanders, Jacob with the Ducks, Andy with the Avs, Mark with Detroit. They've, again, one of those big hit potential teams, Andrew with the Rangers, Emil with the Wild and Panthers, Marshall with the Oilers, Scott got the Canucks, Loic with the Leafs, Marshall with the Vegas Golden Knights, and again, Patrick, you got the Kraken. There are your teams. My cat is going haywire. Where's Photoshop? There's Photoshop. Paste into the team viewer, save, close, save as. There we go. And there's the team viewer. All right. So I'll give the usual couple minutes for trades. Again, given that we're on a non-standard time, there will probably be less people on here, but leave the option open. So the only thing I need to find is my box cutter, and there it is. All right. Take my headset off. I don't need that. Let's start with Series 1, I guess. So here we go. Good luck, everyone. Series 1 time. Again, every time we do these, like, 3 boxes or 4 boxes of each, it's been really solid breaks. So there's a serial number. I'm excited tomorrow because I get to go pick up my Upper Deck package from. I just had a really rough case, unfortunately. So, like a card quality case. It's kind of weird. We've had a couple cards like that in Series 2. Actually, the last like kind of break, so I'll keep an eye out for them. But like they just had some issues on the back, so the fronts were fine. Like it's just if you look at the like if you're someone who looks at the back, or you go and get the card graded or something like that, and they're gonna notice the back is pretty scuffed up, and like it's hard to trade them at that point because if you don't care about what the backs look like, it's fine. If you care about what the front looks like you're getting terrific cards, but the backs just have like weird marks all over them. And so, all right, here we go. First half is we'll do Series 1. We'll just rip down from Series 1 to Series 2 to Extended. I think it'll be the most enjoyable. Or we can go along, because that way some of the better teams will have more suspense. And yeah, that might be better. Just go Series 1, Series 2 Extended, Series 1, Series 2 Extended, and see which one's the best. Let's do it that way. Alright. Enough talking. Let's get breaking. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. Again, hopefully it's nice to us. It's been nice the past few breaks. So, Ovechkin for the Capitals on the honor roll. Kaliev on the debut dates gold for the Kings. Veleno on the Young Guns for the Red Wings. Brown for the Kings. Canvas. Barkov for the Panthers on Hundo P. Rookie retrospective of Jason Robertson for the Dallas Stars. Still yet to sign. Kind of one of the biggest RFAs left. Connor for the Jets. Verano for the Red Wings on the Dazzlers. Rasmus Dahlin for the Sabres. On the Electromagnetic. Holtby for the Canucks. Middleton for the Avs on the Young Guns. Gustafsson for the Senators. That's the first half. Second half time. Again, hopefully everyone had a good long weekend. It was a pretty toasty one. Got back from camping. It was a lot of fun. And I mentioned this just before the break started, but saw some Black Widows fighting. That was always that's interesting. And then the false Black Widow went between them to break up the fight. It was weird, but we saw some big Black Widows, and I'm not that scared of spiders, but seeing how fast those things move and knowing how dangerous they can be, it is a little bit okay, just make sure that I don't put my hand in the wrong spot. If I'm turning over a rock, make sure I'm careful. What else did we see? We saw stoneflies. Those things looked like almost lizards. They were massive. Yeah, a lot of fun. We actually went found a really cool farm market produce area near where we camped, and got really cheap cantaloupe, which was cool, and peppers and stuff. Kaprizov for the Wild. It's a lot of fun. French variation of LeBanc for the Sharks. Bergeron for the Bruins. Got to see my grandparents too, which was nice. So Larkin for the Red Wings. Veal for the Sharks. Walcott for the Lightning. 6, 7, 8. Tavares for the Leafs. Hjalmarsson on the clear cut for the Coyotes. 7. Bryson for the Sabres. Shesterkin for the Rangers. Rookie retrospective of Sorokin for the Islanders. And rounding it off, I think we got a debut date of Nick Robertson for the Leafs. But yeah, the big hockey news was the JT Miller contract extension. That dropped on Friday? Saturday? Friday? I forget what day. One of those days anyways. And yeah, that's a lot. Nothing planned for basketball. We don't have like it's a lot of retail stuff, and it's just looking at it from like a value perspective for breaks, it's not the best. So being like just kind of there's really not a lot, like if we had hobby boxes and stuff it'd be a different story, but we just don't. So this is box number, I don't know why I did series 1, I meant to do series 2 extend. We'll do 2 and 2 and 2. 233514 on the box number. But yeah, would like to, but again, it's just tough when, you know, it's mainly retail and trying to make sure that, you know, it's a good value break too. Obviously, like hobby has its own risk just because it drives the price up a lot, but you know, would like to find that balance there, and just it's not quite there right now. You know, we'll see. Maybe one like around start of season if there's some stuff kicking around, but for now, nothing like major planned. So, and same goes for football and other sports. So, yeah, like we could probably do one for the sake of doing one, but it wouldn't be like, I don't think it'd be a really like great break, for lack of a better phrase. So that's just kind of my why we haven't had them in a little bit. So, but yeah. Anyways, JT Miller, interesting contract. He's had some good years in the past, but that contract's going to kick in not this season, but next year. So he'll be on the other side of 30. You know, I'm not as high on him as other people. I will say that. Draisaitl for the Oilers. We got a Canvas Black, a Couturier for the Flyers. Benoit for the Ducks. So, I don't like it personally. Bjorkstrand for the Blue Jackets, because you're stuck. Ottinger for the Stars. You're stuck trying to win now with him. Deneau for the Habs. And like you're hoping that he can live up to the contract long term. McKinnon for the Avs. Or the cap goes up a lot. And those are two pretty big bets. You're also hoping he maintains a 100-point pace. Or like even point per game pace. You hope he maintains that. 7, 8. Okay, I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4. French variation of Josh Norris for the Senators. Andre for the Stars. Yeah, Ben for the Stars. That's who you hope he doesn't turn into, right? Again, guy posts a really good career year, and then gets a big contract. Everyone's like, yeah, it looks good. Osling for the Senators. Obviously, I think he plays a different game than Jamie Benn, so that's not as big of a worry. Drysdale for the Ducks. But still enough there that's like the back end of that contract's probably not going to be pretty. And as per usual, everything I say about player, like my own player thoughts, I want them to prove me wrong. Like, I do. I want to see players succeed, and I'm happy when players get paid. Like, hey, if you get paid, if you get the big paycheck, it's not on you for taking that. Like, there's nothing wrong with a player ever taking, you know, the most money that they're offered, because there's two sides to an agreement, and sure, at a certain point you gotta hold the player accountable, but it's not like he's gonna go and mail it in, and because like the contract would actually be voided at that point. But yeah, actually that'd be interesting. If like say a player in their mid-30s started or early 30s that just signed a big deal started to just mail in their contract and like not play at all. We have a special honor roll card coming up. It'd be interesting what would happen, like if the league could terminate the contract. Like, I'd have to imagine that they could, right? So, not that I think JT Miller will, but again, I think that sets up the Canucks to be like in a win now position over the next 3 years, and you know, I don't think they have the cap space to do that. They don't have the defense for it right now, candidly. They're going to need to be extremely frugal with everything they do. You know, they've got to try and move money out, which is going to be extremely tough to do. It's honestly going to take a bit of a miracle. Voracek for the Flyers. Because, like, you don't have them penciled in as a top 3 team. Voracek for the Flyers on the Dazzlers. So, Norris for the Senators. All right. Random between the Kings and the Avs. The Young Gun checklist. The canvas checklist. So, who had the Kings? Avs is Andy. Kings is Dennis. So, one random to do. Again, if we manage to get a second one or like the Canvas Black parallel, we'll random off the better one. Tyce Thompson for the Devils. And then the loser will get the other one. Jackson Cates for the Flyers. But yeah, I'm curious to see what that contract looks like at the end, what other moves the Canucks have planned. This might be, I don't know if this is rainbow or gold. It might be gold. Fleury for Vegas. Here we go. It's an honor roll. No, it's the Rainbow to 250 of Bergeron for the Bruins. Cool. Tougher to hit. But yeah, like again, he's a fine player. JT Miller's a fine player. I think he's a player that, like, you know, if you're a team looking to win now, that's fine. Gustafson for the Senators. But if you're a team that doesn't really have much in the prospect pipeline, Quinn Hughes for the Canucks, you're kind of like very, very top heavy. You don't have really good depth. You're just relying on a lot of luck. Leon Draisaitl for the Oilers. And like McDavid for the Oilers. You're kind of just hoping for the best. And I don't think, like, if your goal is to win a Stanley Cup, which I think like every hockey team's goal should be, essentially like your long-term goal should be to win a Stanley Cup. I think just hoping to compete for like 16th place is, I don't think that's a good strategy, to be honest. 471-562. Everyone always talks about, you know, having the will to, like, not the will to win, but, you know, just getting in anything can happen. Like, look at Dallas, look at Montreal. But those teams didn't win the Cup. And, like, generally speaking, it's the powerhouses, the Colorados, the Tampa Bays, these teams that are extremely deep, extremely well built, that, like, they can lose their top defenseman. They can lose their second best defenseman. They can lose their all-star center or all-star winger, who is arguably like a top 10 player in the game, and be fine. Like, are they as good? No. Are they fine? Yeah. So, and the Canucks, they can't. They especially can't afford like losing Quinn Hughes. Losing Quinn Hughes could sink that ship. For them, they need a good year out of Jack Rathbone. They need good depth to step up on defense. They need OEL to at least to keep his pace of play from last year, if not improve on it. They need Tyler Myers to keep his pace of play from last year. Again, same thing, if not improve. Like, they need a lot of things to go right now, and that division isn't super easy to get in either. So, here we go. Fairby for the Flyers. Program of Excellence. I believe this is the black parallel. Mark Stone for Vegas. Again, POEs go to the current team or most games played if it's a retired player. So that there goes to Vegas. Cool hit. Have a fluorescence coming up. Phillips for the Flames on the blue rookie. Vejmelka for the Yotes. Swayman on the fluorescent, and a Radish for the Lightning right behind it. Radish for the Lightning. I'll sleeve up the Swayman in a second here. Marchessault for Vegas. Yeah, it'll be interesting because, like, I don't think you can definitively say, like, you can't say the Canucks are better than the Oilers on paper because McDavid and Draisaitl are just otherworldly. So, for fluorescence, it's in pretty decent shape as well. Some slight soft edges, but nothing major. Give that a stand for now. I don't think you can say, like, Vegas, it depends if they get all injured. Simone Benoit for the Ducks. I don't think they're better on paper than Vegas. Kachuk for the Lightning. Prosvedov for the Yotes. Nurse for the Oilers. The Flames, I don't think they're better. French variation of Eberle for the Kraken. I don't think they're better than the Flames on paper either. The Flames defense is really good. Their goaltending is, I'd say Canucks have the advantage in net. And forwards, I think, is probably a slight edge to the Canucks in the top 9. I'd say it's an edge to the Canucks in the top 9, but, like, in the bottom 6, I think the Flames are generally better. And I think prospect-wise, like, the Flames are probably slightly better as well. So, that's a weird one. And then, like, you look at long-term, like, are they better than LA right now? And that one you could argue is a wash, but again, LA has all of these really, really good, highly touted prospects like Byfield, Turcotte, ready to make the jump. I mean, you saw Sean Durzi last year play really well. You've got a whole bunch of really good talent there. So, is this Canucks team going to be better than that team in the long run? The only one you can definitively say they're probably better than is San Jose. And even then, like, San Jose's got some really good prospects on the way, so they could probably turn it around pretty quickly. It'll be interesting. It's a weird spot. Veal for the Sharks. Spencer Knight on the Young Gun canvas for the Panthers. It's a real weird spot for the Canucks to be in right now. Because they're not set up to be better than Anaheim right now. In 5 years, 3 years even. Radish for the Lightning on the retro. Ronberg for Vegas. They're not set up to be better than Kachuk for the Lightning. Then the Kings in a few years. Perfetti for the Jets. I would argue that they're not set up to be the Oilers if McDavid and Draisaitl stay. I don't think they'll be ahead of them just because McDavid and Draisaitl are so good that they're going to be a playoff team. Gallagher for the Habs. Oshie for Washington. So, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting. Gertson for the Devils. On the Young Guns. Akin for the Bruins. Thornton for the Panthers. And Gustafson for the Senators. Yeah, the Canucks are kind of in this weird no man's land where, like, you either essentially try to win now and sacrifice everything your team has. Like you just go all in now and you just deal with the consequences later. Oh yeah, and Seattle's the other team. Like they're not. If Seattle gets goaltending this year, I think they might push for a playoff spot. I think they need new coaching. Honestly, probably a new GM, but 277-402. But if they push for a playoff spot, like if they get like just league average goaltending, I think they'll push for a playoff spot. You got Beniers coming in there. You've got Shane Wright, who's going to be extremely motivated. Who knows if he stays up, but we'll find out. So you got a good group of prospects there. You got some good talent there already. I mean, like, McCann's doing well. They don't have any super bad contracts. I'm not a big fan of that Grubauer one, but he's a goalie. He can turn it around. Yeah, it's tough to find a spot where the Canucks are going to be like, you can point to right now and be like, hey, the Canucks can be the absolute best team in the league, because their roster right now, even before signing JT Miller, like heading into this year, you're just like, all right, you're going to be a middle of the pack team, which means you're probably not going to get a high draft pick this year. So you're going to lose out on your chance of Bedard or I don't think Michkov would help you in the short term, but in 3-4 years maybe. But Fantilli would be an excellent pickup as well. So like I don't think they're going to have the help there. They don't have very much in the prospect pipeline. So honestly, is this their best window right now? It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays out. Neighbors for the Blues. Neighbors for the Blues. Again, I hope they do well. Darlene for the Sharks. But Tomasino for the Predators. There's a lot of big risks there. Wilson for the Capitals on the French. Steen for the Bruins on the Young Guns. Sorry, edge is a little soft on that one. Not bad. And there's our Mo Seider. I think the things the Canucks have going for them are, I think Pettersson's going to rebound. I think this is slightly thicker than a standard top loader. No, it's not. I think Pettersson's going to rebound in a big way. I think Besser's going to be fine. Hurdle for the Sharks. And I think Miller's going to be good for a couple of years. 3-4 years. Sheary for the Capitals. At least you hope so. Demko's going to be Demko. Nils Lundqvist for the Rangers. I think Hoaglander's poised to break out, but he's also one of the players that they might need to trade Lockwood for the Canucks just to try to upgrade on defense. Unique for the Coyotes, and I feel like he'd be one player that would be a mistake to trade, to be honest. I think he is a lot better than what people give him credit for. And I think he just had a rough year last year. But yeah. I don't see a way out of this without them getting extremely lucky and just hitting perfect timing on trades. Getting one of their draft picks just randomly turns into like a legitimate star. And quickly, like I just don't see them getting out of that place where we had the Calgary Flames for so long. You know, where they were that like always pushing for that playoff spot, but then really bad. Same with the Detroit Red Wings when they were doing that massive playoff streak. And like, if you try and keep that up, you see how long it's taken to start to rebuild. Like, it's taken a long time to do it right. Because if it's 3-4 years from now, you know, Pettersson's in his prime. like their best players are going to be on the wrong, like they're going to be aging, so it's a really weird situation for them. Phillips for the Flames. Saros for the Predators. I would like to see them go on a more of a like retool thing. Yandel for the Flyers on the retro. Allard for the Predators. But that's my personal opinion. So, Berboulet for the Lightning. You know, I think you look at trading JT or Bo or both. I think it's a tough move to make. Okposo for the Sabres. Merzlikins for the Blue Jackets. But Larkin for the Red Wings. But this team's got to make a lot of tough decisions. So Podkolzin for the Canucks on the Young Guns. Fleury for Chicago. Lashinsky for the Flyers. And Cylinder on the short print rookie for Columbus. I don't think, did we get a second one here? I don't think we got like a secondary hit now that I think about it. Let me go back there and make sure I didn't miss a base variation or something like that. So I don't think we got that special hit, like the 2-hit pack, if I remember correctly. Sometimes that means we got a base variation. I just missed it. The easiest one to miss is the Shesterkin one. So let me just do a quick double check here. They are pretty easy to pick out, so. Let me just do a double check. Nothing there. So that half is good, and then I put this half here. There's nothing that looks like it's a suit, or that looks like it's a weird variation yet. Hopefully next year they like identify it as a variation easier. Oh, we did hit the Shesterkin. There we go. Good. Igor Shesterkin, base variation for the Rangers. We did hit it. Glad I went back and double checked. That one's really, really easy to miss because he's just in a jersey. So, there we go. Nice one for the Rangers. That's the one that I've seen missed most in breaks, because it's just they're always, unlike previous years where they're normally with like the second hits. Like last year was Dazzlers and Canvas, so you knew what to expect. They're with a Young Gun this year, and so like you see the Young Gun and you get, that was probably with the Cider or someone. You see the Young Gun and you get excited about it, but then you miss out on the other hit if it's not super obvious. So. But we caught it. This is box number 602500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. And that's 12. All right, so that's by far our best box so far is Series 2. Series 2 is definitely in the lead. But let's see if Extended can pull it up. Was that the Night Canvas as well? I'm trying to remember. But it was the Cider, Podkolzin, Shesterkin variation. That was a good box. Got a Canvas. Canvases could be good. Nice to see a Michael Bunting at some point. That'd be a fancy card. Have a clear-cut base coming up. You know what I want to see in Extended next year? I want to see the acetate Young Guns from SP Authentic. I want to see those in Extended. I think that'd be a really good value add. Obviously, like, they help increase the value of SP Authentic, but I'd rather see, you know, just rather see that one, like, I'd like to see a couple more of the extra premium hits that are really rare and extended, and then add like a little bit more value in them. But, you know, give a few more chase cards. I think that'd make it really, really cool. Here we go. Salo for the Islanders. Crosby for the Penguins. This is definitely a damage corner there on the Jarvis for the Hurricanes on the SPX. Young Gun Canvas of Sokolov for the Senators. Baron for the Avs. Not a bad one to get. Frederick Gaudreau for the Wild. Should be there. Yep. There we go. There's another cool base variation. Eichel for Vegas. That's a that's like a good old LinkedIn profile picture. We'll just highlight those because those just look cool. The photography on them's kind of... That one's actually really nice for the suit one. McDavid for the Oilers. Annunen for the Avs. Olmark for the Bruins. Huberdeau on the double diamond for the Panthers. And holographics of Makar for the Avs. Alright. Good start to extended. Couple good young guns. I mean, Baron's solid. Robin Sauer's a solid player. Might not turn into anything major, but like should be an NHLer. Annunen's a goalie. So you never know. And I like Baron as a defenseman, and he's in Montreal now. So if he pops off, he will pop off. So far, I'd say Series 1 is the worst, but we got a lot of extended to rip through. Got a lot of extended to rip through. Alright, I think we got a future impact in here. Yep. Cam Dineen for the Yotes on the Young Guns. Gostas Bear for the Yotes. French variation of Bastion for the Kraken on the inaugural game ones. Drouin for the Habs on the canvas. Nico Doss for the Devils. Hasn't fared well at the NHL level, but hey, not the worst goalie to get. Tavares for the Leafs on the SPX. The Finites. Your one per box one. Mason McTavish on the Future Impact for the Ducks. Cool card. Numbered 977 of 1000. Honestly, the cards I'm most impressed with are these die cuts. They are cut really, really well. We'll take the Eichel down. They're cut really, really well. Pretty clean. Not a ton of damage on them from what I've seen so far, so hopefully it stays that way. Pinto on the retro for the Senators, the retro Young Guns. Merkley for San Jose. Again, one of those players that could boom or bust, so Dano for the Kings. Here's our Black Diamond Rookie Gem. Byfield for the Kings. Nice one there. Actually, we'll give that one a sleeve after. And finishing off with the holographics of Alexander Holtz for the Devils. It's box one. So I'd say I would say Extended had the best first box of the three, and then be probably Series 2, Series 1. And then so far, box 2, it's Series 2, then Series 1. Because, yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say. Alright. Let's get something fancy here. I saw a Lucas Raymond auto the other day, and oh boy. We're in for a long year. 2902-962. We got a Luca Caputi-esque signature. To be fair, I get it because they have to sign a lot of stuff. But I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's at least on the sticker autos, it's very small. Byfield, I think, has one of the coolest ones. Life had a really good draft or like signature for first overall pick. Sometimes like the higher picks can be the lazier ones, but because they're the ones that have to sign the most stuff. And I mean, like, to be fair, they have to sign a ton of cards, and like you're just sitting in one session doing it, so it's like, okay, well. But there is something to be said about players that have like really nice and unique autographs. Like they do, especially the lower end players, they do generally become more collected because, hey, they've got a really cool auto. I want that card type of stuff, right? So. All right. Here we go. Malkin for the Penguins. Mason Shaw for the Wild. Anderson for the Kings. Rookie gems of Mercer for the Devils. Holographics of Kaprizov for the Wild. Triple Dimensions Reflections of Turcotte for the Kings. Young Guns Checklist of Holtz and Turcotte. So LA and New Jersey. Again, that'll be a random. If we get a second one, both people will get one. If we get an exclusive or a clear cut or something, we'll random off the better one. Loser gets the worst one. Because LA is Dennis and Devils is Bill. Draisaitl for the Oilers. Sorry. Tomasino for the Predators. Zucker for the Penguins. Slavin for the Hurricanes. Peterka for the Sabres on the Dazzlers. 1 second. Sorry, just gotta. Alright, just respond after. Alright. Not a bad first half. Would be nice to get a better Young Gun on the board, but the Peterka Dazzlers isn't bad. Got some high hopes for him. Buffalo could be a team that surprises this year. Again, if things start clicking there, like if Dahlin gets back to his rookie year's play, especially without the puck, and everyone else kind of continues their pace of play from last year, I think that they're more likely to challenge for a playoff spot than Ottawa. But again, that's a big if. Ottawa's going to have an insane forward group. That defense is, after Shabbat, ugh. And the goaltending, I think, is as big of a question mark as the rest in the league. Like, Gustafson's been solid, but not great. Or Forsberg, sorry. I think it's Forsberg. I forget. They've gone through so many goalies that it's hard to remember them all. All right, here we go. Soderblom for Chicago. Kane for Chicago. French variation of McDavid on the All-Stars. Garland for the Canucks. Tuft for the Stars. Saros for the Predators on the finite to 2.999. Oh, here we go. Rookie Gems Ruby for the LA Kings of Quinton Byfield. Numbered 54 of 100. One off that jersey number. But wicked card. We pulled the Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen last week. So, again, some little chipping on the bottom. These ones seem to have a little bit of issues with that. But just because it's... And foil in general can be a little bit tough on the bottom, but it's especially more clear when it's like a non-silver or white color. So, that is, right now, the hit of the break. Beautiful Byfield Rookie Gems to 100. These are really tough to hit. So, really cool card there. Nice one there for the Kings. Andy, Andy, it's your first break with us. So welcome. Lap here on the Young Guns. Knizev for the Sharks. Voracek for the Blue Jackets on the canvas. Eklund on the single diamond for the Sharks. And Sillinger for Columbus. Well, I think that might not be dollar-wise better than what we pulled out of Series 2, but I think rarity-wise and dollar, like the combination of rarity and dollar-wise, I'm gonna have to give the edge to extended there. So I think it extends up to, it's up to nothing. Like value-wise, that Series 2 box was better, but like in terms of like coolness factor, the triple diamond ruby to 100 of Byfield, that's pretty cool. So 7232104. Those are pretty cool. Those are really cool cards. I like seeing, rare parallels and stuff, and that's like hitting a Young Guns exclusives, essentially, right? So, obviously it's not the same as hitting the Young Gun exclusives, but it's a really, I'm a sucker for old school Black Diamond, though. I miss those sets. They were expensive and risky, but at least back in the day, they were expensive and risky, but they were a lot of fun. They had some really cool cards. Triple reflections of Perfetti for the Jets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Merzlikins for the Blue Jackets. Danforth for the Blue Jackets. Vanacek for the Capitals. Aho for the Hurricanes. Quinn Hughes on the, I think this is just an exclusives. Yep, it's an exclusives to 100 of Quinn Hughes for the Canucks. So they all have the HG on them, but the high glosses are obviously number 2, 10, whereas the exclusives are to 100. So 4 of 100. Protoss for the Capitals. Kucherov for the Lightning. Kane for Chicago. Keith for the Oilers. Jack Drury for the Hurricanes. Canvas black coming up here. Yep, Braden Holtby. This one is all sorts of damaged, so just as a heads up, really, really rough edge there. Yeah, that one's pretty badly damaged. I'm just gonna sleeve and top load it just because it's, I don't want it getting worse, so just as a heads up. And if you need the box number for that, Emil is 616-737-232-104. All right. Next half. All right. See what's hiding in the back half here. There we go. Moritz Seider on the holographics gold for the Red Wings. Schwint for the Panthers on the Young Guns. Kachuk for the Flames. Donato for the Kraken on the French variation. Lee for the Islanders. Again, the Kraken are going to have the fair share of French variations in this product. Ben McCartney for the Yotes, just because they have 25 base cards. Perfetti for the Jets. On the retro, Tarasov for the Blue Jackets. There's a regular Holtby for the Stars. Jarvis for Carolina on the double diamond. Perfetti for the Jets on the holographics. And SPX Finite Radiance. Yeah, I think it's Radiance to 799 of Giroux for the Flyers. So, pretty solid little box there. Nothing insane, but some good stuff. All right. Series 2 time. I think Series 2 is taking this round. I'm feeling a Lucas Raymond Young Guns here. Box number 616-484-575-066. Laugh for the Rangers, blowing that bubble gum on the canvas. Canvas black of Heiskanen for the Stars. There you go, Dallas. At least you got a non-damaged canvas black. Lashinsky for the Flyers on the OPC blue. Ylönen for the Habs. I gotta check after the Young Gun, sorry. I put that one in the wrong pile. I think that was our only Young Gun. Delkovich on the red, and Tomasino for the Predators. I was gonna say I'm feeling the Tomasino crop, but I went with Raymond for the potential. Grew for the Ducks. Johnny Hockey for the Flames. Grew for the Ducks. Richards for the Rangers. Lundell for the Panthers. Raymond for the Red Wings. There we go. We got a Raymond. Pionk for the Jets. Mr. Neal. Two to go. And last one. Here we go. Back half of the box. Darling for the Sharks. Program of Excellence of Nick Suzuki for the Habs. So POE of Nick Suzuki for Montreal. Ottawa, nothing like major. I think you've had like some young guns. Nothing insane. So Passentrick for the Sharks. Been a pretty like steady break. Variants for the Predators. That's a weird young gun crop. Zibanejad for the Rangers. Just like they've been steady for Heggie for the Flyers. And Kalen Addison for the Wild. It's been one of those breaks that's been steady. Some like obviously some cool hits, but yeah, nothing super insane. Mercer. This one does not have again. The Dawson Mercer, some like notice around half of them have a mark under the G, so just like as a heads up. There are some that don't have that mark on the back, and that one's one of them. Radish for the Lightning. So if he ever turns out to be an extremely good player, that might be a separating factor in a price. Prosvedov for the Yotes. Ference for the Predators. Obviously, it won't be the same as like the McKinnon red spot, but Newhook for the Avs. Yeah, Ottawa's one of those teams like they're not the strongest in the break. They're not the weakest. They exist. You'll get stuff almost guaranteed. I put those in the wrong spot, didn't I? Yes. You've got Pinto. You've got the Pinto Retro, I'd say would be your best pull so far. Alright, series one time. So far, I mean, will Extended still have the lead? No, the Suzuki, it might still have the lead, you know? No, that Young Gun crop was better. I think series 2 is just better. Yeah, I can't Series 2 is in the lead. Box number on this one is 16896823102404142. Just in case we have any issues. Alright, here we go. Let's hopefully we see some hopefully we see something cool here. I feel like we're doing Series 1. Series 1's been kind of quiet. Does have a chance to get a win. So far, Extended, I'd say Extended's been our best product so far. In terms of like rarity and coolness. In terms of value, it's Series 2. So, and that's kind of how actually how all these products have played out. Series 1, like, started off well, but cooled off pretty quickly. Between, like, quality and just checklist being slightly weaker than anticipated. Series 2 is just loaded with good Young Guns. And then Extended, like, again, the checklist quality isn't quite there. But there's a lot of cool subsets. The print quality is really good again. So, you know, it's one of those just, like, it's solid. Some of these cards, by the way, this back of this Rosovic looks, like, washed out. Alright, here we go. Leonard for Vegas. Gensel for the Penguins. McMichael for the Capitals. Got a Young Gun canvas coming up. Veni Vehviläinen for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Probably one of the worst ones to get, but Tia Samuelson for the Sabres. He played really good last year. I honestly got pretty high hopes for him. Zach Jones for the Rangers, a little bit of a rough edge. Not the worst Young Gun to get. Zegras for the Ducks. I'll throw it up there. I think it's in the common insert pile now, but throw it up there for now. Again, as a reminder, all Young Guns get top-loaded and sleeved, so Pastrnak for the Bruins on the Pink Dazzlers, just because they generally hold their value the best. And there's a Trevor Zegras for the Ducks. Well, there we go. Series 1, you have the victory. Nice little Trevor Zegras. Condition-wise, a little bit of a soft edge. Like, again, I'm being a little bit picky here. Soft corner. Not a 10, but, like, above average for what you can see in Series 1, so not bad. It's one of those weird ones where it's, like, it's not great, but also it's not bad. Line A for the Blue Jackets. Line A for the Blue Jackets. And Parisi for the Wild. So Series 1 is on the board, because, again, nothing from Series 2 really beat that. Nothing from Extended beat that, so I think box order will go Series 1, Series 2, Extended, because I feel like, or Series 1, Extended, Series 2, because I feel like that goes from, you know, lowest chance of something insanely cool to highest chance of something insanely valuable. Like, yeah, I feel like we'll go like that. Obviously, Series 1 has these better, like, top-end high rolls with Caulfield and Zegras, Young Gun, high glosses and stuff, and exclusives than Extended, but I think on average you're going to get a cooler card from Extended. And, like, you can still get some insane stuff out of Extended, so I think it's some more consistent of the two products at pulling a cooler card, so we'll continue with that. Here we go. Vasilevsky for the Lightning. Hedman for the Lightning on the jersey. Cool jersey. Tyce Thompson for the Devils on the Young Guns. Hall for the Bruins. Comtois for the Ducks. You know what I haven't seen is a Day with the Cup from Series 1 in a long time. Stone for Vegas. I'd love to see one of those. Veleno for the Red Wings. Walcott on the French Young Guns for the Lightning. Yeah, Series 1 definitely takes a cake there then. French Young Guns, Zegras. Pretty solid stuff. Nolan Foote for the Devils. Danault for the Habs. Kelenic for Chicago. And Zahorna for the Penguins. So pretty, honestly, like one of the best Young Gun crops you can get in Series 1. Got a cool French Young Gun in there. So pretty good box. That definitely wins that round. Series 2 has been like the second best box in every single round. So one 16896823101277759 on the box numbers. All right, here we go. Let's see a clear cut. Clear cut Young Gun. Or a Day with a Cup. One of those two. That's what I'd like to see here. Alright. Packs go in this half. Here we go. Laugh for the Rangers. Kaprizov for the Wild. Romanov for the Habs. Barry for the Oilers. Michaelis for the Canucks. Michaelis. Ruotsalainen for the Sabres. Excuse me. There's some dust that blew up from the pack into my nose. Point for the Lightning. So I'm just going to go back through those cards, make sure I didn't miss anything. Sneeze kind of distracted me a little bit. I don't think I did, but yeah, no, we're good. Ryan O'Reilly on the Hundo P Gold for the Blues. There's a Pinto for the Senators. Nice Young Gun there. Canvas black? Nope. Just a regular canvas of Raquel for the Ducks. Marner for the Leafs. And Couturier for the Flyers. Here we go. Last half of Series 1. Again, I'd like to see something special here, something a little bit different. first box of Series 1 was pretty good too. The Hedman jersey, honestly, like, again, not a big money card, but if you're going to hit a game jersey, hitting one of the best, arguably the top defensemen over the past decade, the one you want to hit. I really wish, I want to see like in an alternate world where Erik Karlsson doesn't have like his Achilles absolutely destroyed, and see how good those San Jose Sharks teams would have been if he was like playing peak like he was for the Ottawa Senators. Because, man, those teams would have been different. And Ottawa would have been a lot different looking as well. Ottawa would have been different looking. Colorado would have been different looking. Because they benefited from that as well. Or no. Because they got... No, the Byron trade was when Ottawa was going for it. Because they got Turris. So. Hellebuyck for the Jets. Here's our canvas black. Patrick Kane for Chicago. Joey Keane for the Hurricanes. Ovechkin for the Capitals. Heiskanen for the Stars. Matthews for the Leafs. Kane for Chicago. French variation of Lee for the Islanders. Leonard for the Sharks. Zaka for the Devils. This has been a very standard box. Cole in for the Canucks. And Brennan in for the Rangers. That was the definition of a standard box. Nothing fancy. Kind of just, it got the job done, but I'd like to see a little bit more type of thing. Fill this row of base cards up. Alright, Series U time. So I think Series 1 is going to come in last. Which I think has been the recurring theme from this, actually. Is that, like, of all the products, Series 1 just seems to be the one that's the weakest. And it points to, like, how good a strong, like, how much the Young Gun checklist matters as well. And, like, the other insert sets as well, I guess. Because I would argue the Young Gun checklist set, by the way, this is box number 616-00-86-24988. I would argue that of all the Young Gun checklists, Extended's probably the worst. But it has one of the best players in it. And, like, its depth is probably slightly better than Series 1. But it's close. So, like, I think Seth Jarvis has a real chance to be better than Zegras and Caulfield. I think he's better right now than those two. But it's close. And then, like, the rest is kind of, like, up in the air. But there's no one else in Extended that's really close to the Caulfield, Zegras, Jarvis territory, in my opinion. Right now, at least. Like, I like Barron, but I like Beckman. But again, same thing, like, liking players can mean, hey, they'll be a good middle six forward, they'll be a good third liner, and, like, that's tremendous. I think a lot of times, like, we talk about players of that. We talk about players not being, or, like, not living up to their potential, but at the same time, we just have such high expectations for prospects that, like, if your mid-first round pick turns out to be like a middle six, like a solid middle six center for 5-6 years, or like solid middle six forward or solid second pair D, that's a really good hockey player. Like, that's still a good pick. Thoughts on the prospects in LA with all the congestion at center, Turcotte, Byfield, and all? If you're going to be deep at a position, center is probably the best one to be at. Tomasino for the Predators, just because it's the hardest position to replace. Chinakhov for Columbus on the young gun canvas. It's the hardest position to replace, and like the most valuable one. Parise for the Islanders, outside of goalies, obviously. Phillips for the Flames on the young guns. So I think they'll be fine. You can always move a center to the wing, a wing to the center, but it's hard to move a wing to the center. Lee for the Islanders. So I think they need more from their top prospects. Sillinger for the Blue Jackets right now, especially both Turcotte and Byfield. And I think they have more in the tank. And I think we're also very spoiled by how good the mid-2000s players were adjusting to the league right away. And I think that's just a byproduct of, like, the rules kind of finally... Like, the entire league's kind of played with the rules as they are now, the clutch and grab for most of their life. So, Burns for the Sharks. So I think everyone kind of understands how hockey's played. Lashinsky for the Flyers. And so we're getting less of, like, generational gaps now. Fleury for Chicago. So I think that's why, like, this young prospects aren't making as big of an immediate impact. Takchev for the Kings, but I think they'll be fine, like, long term. There's no issues with having that deep of center. Ruzicka for Calgary, like, Kopitar's gonna need to get sheltered eventually. Krug for the Blues, or like less ice time. So having extra centers again, really good. And again, you can always trade players. Like, you should never... With drafting, a lot of the teams that, a lot of the things that people make mistakes when drafting is being like, oh, well, this team doesn't have X in their pipeline, or they don't have Y at the NHL level. And it's like, you shouldn't bank on a prospect to make, like, outside of a top 5 pick, and even then, like, outside of really a top 2 pick, you shouldn't bank on them being an impact player in 3 years. Within 3 years, even. You know, you can't immediately, just because you have the first overall draft pick, pencil them in and be like, they're going to be a star. It takes time to adjust. So I think, yeah. I mean, fair. Hey, the one thing I'll say about the Habs, again, coming from a Canucks fan here, we went on the JT Miller rant at the start, but it looks like we're stuck for more mediocrity, and man, I hate... If there is one thing I hate about cheering for a team, it's being stuck in mediocrity. Because you kind of just, like... Your team's kind of always competitive for a playoff spot, but you're never really going to... Like, it's really tough to see your team winning it all. And, like, that's what it's about. I don't want to see the Canucks win a round in the playoffs. I want to see them win the playoffs. Kubalik for Chicago. Like, I don't want to see them make the playoffs. I want to see them make the finals. Doc for Chicago. And the way they're set up right now just doesn't lend to that. Dorofeyev for Vegas. So, yeah, exactly. I'm kind of like Vejmelka for the Yotes. Under the current system, like, tanking's really, really valuable. Podkolzin for the Canucks. And I also think teams are too scared to trade away their draft picks, even when they're rebuilding. Dahlin for the Sharks. Like, you do need them, but Yandel for the Flyers. I think it's really weird because I think we both, like, everyone, including hockey GMs, both overvalue and undervalue draft picks. They overvalue how much they're worth, especially once they pick a player. Dahlin for the Sharks. They undervalue Kierstad for the Flyers, how valuable they are as, like, a liquid asset. Kessel for the Yotes. So, French variation of Marino for the... Oh, is that a Young Gun exclusives coming up? That's a Young Gun exclusives coming up. Shushko for the Flyers. And for the Habs, Ylönen on the Young Gun exclusives. Unfortunately, one of the worst Young Guns exclusives to get, but still, like... You know, would be mid-tier in Extended or Series 2, so not the top hit, but... It's just, that's more of a comment on how strong the Series 2 Young Guns are than Ylönen, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm someone who is... If you ask me about the Canucks, I'd say that, like, what they should have done with JT Miller, and again, what a lot of teams need to start doing is, basketball's done it pretty well now. You start getting picks with these pick protections on them from rebuilding teams, or, like, teams that are close to it, and you just keep on bumping that down the road, and you leverage that as an asset to trade for a player in the future, because, you know, if you traded JT Miller, say 2 years ago, you traded him for what, 3 second-round draft picks and a bottom 6 forward. It sounds like a pretty underwhelming return, but that return would have gotten you Devon Toews and Pavel Buchnevich. 616-556-151-672. And I would argue both of those players would be more valuable for the Canucks long term, especially on their contracts. So, like, what teams need to do is not be afraid to turn players into draft picks, and then instead of holding onto those draft picks, to use them, actively shop them and try to poach players from teams. And same with, like, offer sheets. Like, I think GMs need to collectively, and I get that it's probably an owner thing, they need to be less scared to do offer sheets. Because it's a really good way for improving your team. Oh yeah, the Doc trade was terrific. That's fun where you're trading a young player to get a young player back, kind of, but like, yeah, like you're paying to get a player who fits your timeline a little bit better. You're taking a big gamble. But, like, you know, the draft picks, sure, they may not be great, but they might be, like, the draft pick could be anyone, right? It could be a player better than Doc. But, you know, Doc at his baseline value is pretty solid. Like, he's done pretty well at the NHL level. And your likeliness of him turning into the star, versus where the draft picks were, I'd argue, pretty low. So, Draisaitl on the triple dimensions reflections. So, I like what the Habs are doing. I think they're doing a pretty good job there. Good draw for the Flames. I don't like what the Canucks are doing. Fortier for the Lightning. Because they're just going to be stuck in this middle ground area. Unless they get really, really lucky. Which I hope they do. Bernie for the Avs. The mascots. 4, 5, 6. Quinn Hughes for the Canucks on the Black Diamond. Oh, yeah. And, like, I think size is somewhat overrated, too. Turcotte for the Kings. I think what's more valuable than size is being able to handle a puck in close. Schmidt for the Devils. I would much rather have a player, I don't care if they're short or tall, that can stick handle in tight spaces, because that's where the game is won and lost right now, I feel like. Jack Hughes for the Devils. And I think that's where your best players lie. Draisaitl for the Oilers. Like, you know, you look at the top players, the thing that separates them is their ability to handle the puck in close quarters. Kempe for the Kings. Holtz for the Devils. Nice one there. So, but yeah, I hope it turns around. Zadorov for the Flames on the clear cut. I hope it turns around for the Canucks. Like, I hope they get lucky, but man, it's tough to see a way out. They need all their players to play career years, essentially, to be, like, you know, a top team. Oh, yeah. Like, Hughes, Pettersson. I mean, Pettersson's got really good in tight puck skills. That's why, like, I was worried about him when his wrist got injured. But, like, those players will generally survive for a while. Obviously, there's also without the puck play, like just smart positioning. But yeah, like I think that's probably the most underrated skill and underappreciated skill in hockey. Is just the in tight hands. It's hard to pick it up, but like it's the little things like how players will just position the puck for an entry. It's what made Jaromir Jagr so good for so long. Like, if you go watch just highlights of Jaromir Jagr, from whatever era, and even the best the best players, yeah, Kovalev too. It's their ability to put the puck into a space that only they can get it, whether it's really close to them or really far away. And that's just such an elite skill. It's so, like, you can't really teach it, Marner for the Leafs, because it's just something that, like, you just know or don't. French variation of Logan O'Connor for the Avs. So, I think, teams need to focus on that a little bit more. Middlestat for the Sabres. So, and again, it's a really hard thing to justify or like see. Sokolov for the Senators, but you can tell the players that have it because they're just better. Dryer for the Penguins, number 886. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Kreider on the Pink Dazzlers. So long term, like I really think teams need to look at that a little bit more. Man, we've pulled like a Caulfield retro young gun out of every single case of extended we've done. But yeah, I think like puck protection is kind of underrated, and like just and puck protection involves being able to just handle the puck in tight. Moser for the Yotes. I think a lot of people overlook that. Brown for the Senators. So stuff like Kucherov, yeah, for sure. He's just so sneaky. Lindell on the triple diamond for the rookie gems. Stone for Vegas on the holographics. And finishing things off, we have a Torochenko for the Blues on the Young Guns. So we got a couple randoms to do here. Then we'll do the recap. So we'll do the probably the Byfield canvas first. Yeah, we'll do the recap after that. And go from there. All right, let me get the random set up. So, overall solid break. Some nice stuff. Young Guns exclusives. The Byfield, I mean, the Ruby to 100 is always super nice. So, all right, first one is okay, call. All right, Kirill. So 3 times we'll do the Holtz and Turcotte checklist. So whatever team's on top after 3. Once, twice, third time, LA, and LA and Colorado on the Young Gun checklist. Once, twice, third time, Colorado. All right. Colorado. LA gets cap box is on. Colorado gets YG check. There we go. Just so I remember it. All right. Recap time. Let's see. Those aren't really recapable, so we'll go recap our top Young Guns and go from there. So Caulfield, Sillinger, Zegras, Newhook, Sider, Perfetti. We also had a Podkolzin, Mercer, Tomasino. I think we had Tomasino. I think. Maybe it was another Fred Allard. But some other cool hits. We had a French Young Guns of Walcott. We had a Byfield triple. We also hit the Lindell triple. Suzuki Program of Excellence. Quinn Hughes, retro exclusives to 100. Eichel on the suit variations from Extended. Spencer Knight on the Young Gun canvas. Mark Stone, Program of Excellence canvas black. Bergeron on the honor roll to 250 from Series 1. Numbered cards out of Series 1 are really tough to pull. Top 5. Let's go with the Mason McTavish rookie impact in 5th. Again, not in terms of value, but in terms of coolness to 1,000. I just like the cards. The die cuts are really cool. Third we'll go with the fourth we'll go with the Swayman Fluorescence. Pretty clean for a Fluorescence. Not a ton of chipping. These cards normally are pretty bad, but again, it's a little bit. And good player. I like the look of these cards. They're cool. Third coolest hit. Shesterkin on the base image variation. It's Shesterkin. Really highly valued. Second best hit of the break, we'll go with the Ylönen Young Guns exclusives. Again, just cool card, Young Guns exclusives. Super tough to hit, especially this year. So cool to see that. And hit of the break, got to go with the 06 or 0506 Black Diamond Tribute Rookie Gems Triple Ruby to 100 of Byfield for the Kings. One off that jersey number, but really, really cool card. Love to see it. Nice hit for LA. That is group break number 310.